Hello, my name is Karen Pescatori, and I'm an attorney with Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida, and welcome to this month's edition of Legal Learning. Before we get started, we have a few disclaimers. This presentation is not intended to provide specific legal advice. Information is current as of February 26, 2024. This PowerPoint may not be reproduced, distributed, copied, or cited in whole or in part without Coast to Coast Legal Aid of South Florida's written permission. For more information, please visit our website at www.coasttocoastlegalaid.org or call 954-736-2400. As I said, my name is Karen Pescatori. I'm an attorney in the EACH unit. EACH stands for Economic Advocacy and Community Health. It's really just a fancy way of saying we handle public benefits cases such as food stamps, Social Security disability, health coverage, and unemployment. Today we will be talking about Social Security overpayments. There are several causes for an overpayment, but today we will focus on overpayments caused by medical appeals. Sometimes when a person is on getting disability benefits, SSA informs the person they are no longer disabled and therefore not eligible for benefits. When that happens, the person has the right to file an appeal. Even though you file an appeal, SSA will still stop your benefits unless you ask them to continue paying you. If you ask SSA to continue paying your benefits while you're pursuing an appeal, they warn you that you will have to repay the money if you lose the appeal. This is where the overpayment comes in. Handling an overpayment. There are several ways you can handle an overpayment. You can file an appeal, submit a waiver request, make a payment arrangement with Social Security, or file bankruptcy. If your overpayment is due to a medical appeal, your best option is to submit a waiver request, asking SSA to waive the entire balance. Waiver request. A waiver request is where a person asks Social Security to waive the money they owe to the agency. If SSA waives an overpayment, it's as though the overpayment never existed. SSA can grant a waiver request in whole or in part. This means they can forgive some or all of the money you owe. To determine whether to approve a waiver request, SSA applies a two-pronged test. Is the person at fault for the overpayment? And can the person afford to repay the money owed? If you file a medical appeal in good faith, meaning you believed you were still disabled, you did not exaggerate your symptoms, and you cooperated fully with SSA throughout the entire appeal process, then SSA will find that you are not at fault for the overpayment. They then move to the next step in the process, which is, can you afford the money? If the answer to that question is no, SSA usually grants the waiver request. Submitting a waiver request. There are a few ways to submit a waiver request to Social Security. You can call or go to your local office and tell them that you want to request a waiver. To find your local office, you can go to Social Security's website at www.ssa.gov/locator. Click on the Locate an Office by Zip button. This will take you to another page where you can input your zip code. After you do that, you click the Locate button and your local office's address and phone number will appear. A second way to submit a waiver is you can download and complete form SSA 632-BK, which is titled Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery. You complete the form, and then you can mail, fax, or take it to your local Social Security office. Although mailing is a viable option, it is the least reliable method for getting your waiver request to Social Security because, as I'm sure you're all aware, the post office often loses things. After you submit your request, it could take SSA several weeks to process the request. To check on the progress, you can call or go to your local Social Security office, or you can check your online Social Security account. If you don't have an account, you can create one at www.ssa.gov/myaccount. Just to briefly go over the form SSA 632BK. Actually, it's a 10-page document, and you need to fill out, all the information to the best of your ability. It does ask for a lot of financial information, such as the amount of your rent or mortgage, the amount you pay in utilities, if you have a car, what's your car payment, or how much it's worth, that type of thing. Most important, though, is on page 2, section 2, where it asks, what is the reason for requesting a waiver? You have 3 options. It says check all that apply. A says the waiver was not my fault. B says I cannot afford to pay the money back. And C says the overpayment is unfair for other reasons. Now, in the case of a medical appeal, you check off all 3. And then for unfair for other reasons, you can say I filed a medical appeal in good faith, or I believed I was still disabled, or I believe I am still disabled and filed a medical appeal in good faith. Once you have completed the form and submitted it to Social Security, like I said, it could take them several weeks to process the document. Sometimes if Social Security is, especially if they're intent on denying the waiver, they will contact you and schedule you for a personal conference. However, if all 3 things are true, as far as, you filed the medical appeal in good faith, meaning you cooperated, you didn't exaggerate your symptoms, you were truthful in your testimony, attended your hearing, that sort of thing. And if they find that you cannot afford to pay the money back, as I said before, they should grant the waiver request. If you have problems, of course, you can always contact our agency. We, in addition to public benefits, we also provide other services such as family law and victims of crime. We do senior and elder law and disaster response. If you have questions or issues regarding this presentation or any other issues related to any of the other areas of law or other types of public benefits, you can call us at 954-736-2400. And that concludes our presentation for today. Have a nice day, everyone.